Hi, and welcome down to Devon Koi Pond on a beautiful bank holiday weekend. We're on the Monday. This film will hopefully be going out on the Friday. Fantastic weekend we've had down here. Nice to have the sun back out again. Temperatures going back up. Pond's been down below 20. I can't tell you exactly because temperature gauge is knackered up and I need a new one. So got one of those on order. But today we're going to have a look at the colour of the water and the protein skimmer, DIY one that I've made, copying the Koi Chronicles build. I've kind of built one off my own bat and played around with it, and we're going to have a look at that. I'll show you the fish in a minute. They're looking happy. I've still got a bit of tea stain into the water, but it is disappearing. So let's have a quick look. As you can see, water's looking pretty good. Still got a little bit of colour to it, but it's nearly back to how it should be. Fish are well happy. Been frolicking around this morning, chasing each other again. Way late in the year to even think about mating, but it does happen. So, the protein skimmer over here. There we go, gurgling away at the back there. Centre. That goes over and through the pipe down into my pot, which I doubt you can see down there, but I'm going to take it out, put it on the deck, give you all the sizes of what I've come up with and works for me in this pot. Now, it doesn't actually produce much during the day. It seems to produce mainly after dark or on a dimmer day. You get a dimmer day, you seem to get more out of it, which is a bit strange. Can't understand that. Now, it's always been tight here on foam. I never really get frothing on the pond or foam on the pond, so I've obviously not got a lot of proteins in the pond, but this takes out what I have got and it's removing the tea staining colour. So I'll lay the bits out on the deck here, actually what it is, and I'll show you what I've made. So I'm hoping you can see what I've got here. This fits inside my easy pod. I've got an overall height of about 20 inches. It's set like this. This pipe from the bottom is about 11 inches to the top of it. The lower pipe down here about 5 inches to the top of it. They're 1 1/4 inches. And I've got plastic drinks bottle in the top. Now this gives me my seal in the top rather than buying a funnel, and works kind of just as well. Inside here is a nice tight fit for a ½ litre drinking bottle. So with an elastic band or a nice O-ring around the top, you can get a nice seal on that. Cut the top. If you cut the white bit out the centre and the top, you can make it a nice tight fit. This a nice tight fit for a piece of hose pipe to go into, and that will then get you the water going out. So what I've got inside is I've got 50mm air stone in the bottom, which is just off the bottom. This pipe also helps hold it upright in the easy pod. You could put this in anything else though, and this wants to be about water height, but doing it this way you can push the bottle up and down in the tube. You might lose sight of this bit, but until you get a decent height. When you get a decent height you can probably cut it down to a bit closer to what you want. Now my easy pod runs quite high, so I'm nearly at the top. Now I'll put the camera over and put it back in the pod a minute and show you it going back in, and then we'll talk a little bit more on it. Okay, I'm hoping you can see this here now. So I've got this. Now this just fits nicely in the back of my pod. Sit down there like that. That is a snug fit in that hole. Airline, you want a little T-piece air bleeder so you can alter and adjust the amount of air going in, and then you want to set the height of this. Now, as I said, I can move it up and down until I get a decent height on it, get it into the position I want, and it will more or less just stay there. So, get a close up on that. So that's what I get with that, and I can actually alter that height around. I can see the O-ring slipped up on it now, but it's not leaking that much. The bottles are fairly tight fit in there. As I say, during the day it doesn't seem to make much. Overnight makes one hell of a lot. And I can't thank the Koi Chronicles enough for this. I've seen a few home build ones on YouTube, but this build video was pretty straightforward, and the idea of putting it in the pod, fantastic. So pop over and watch his video on the build on his, because everybody can take this as a slightly different way to go at it, but you need to play with it. After you've got it in, you need to play with the amount of air you're popping into it and things like that. Let's stick it back over on the tripod, and we'll finish this off a minute. So yeah, as I'm saying with that, when you've made it up, you need to play around with it a bit. The amount of air going in, the height of it in the water as well. Now I know the height moves in an easy pod of water. Mine's fairly fixed on that first pod. Stays about the same within sort of 1/4 of an inch. So it's easier for me. But if you've got it so that you can move it up and down in your pod, you'll find that this should do your pond some real good. It's worked here to remove the tea staining from the water. So I've still got a bit of it, but it's nearly all gone, and I think it's that over the activated charcoal that that I've got in there that's actually getting rid of it, because the state of the water that's pulling out is fairly amazing. Like, just a lot of stain into it, and if you leave the bucket it doesn't settle out the water, so it's not particles that are being picked up in the easy pod. Although it's picking up some, the tea staining's actually in the water. So for this week, if you haven't yet, hit in the subscribe button down here, get subscribed in, you won't miss any future updates. We'll be sorting out some more videos in the next few weeks. I've got a subject to go back over next week, which was the ammonia. We'll be going back over that. I've still got my blanket weed problem here that seems to be growing by the day. I'm hoping for not so much more sun, but I want the heat. I don't want the blanket weed growing. I don't really want to have to treat again, but we've got some problems down here at the moment that are going to need sorting out in the next few weeks, that being one of them. So we'll be getting to that. Anyway, before I start babbling on, happy ponding to you. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now. Fantastic looking bit of water. Tea stains all but gone. Always looks a little bit yellow in the pond because I got so many yellow fish. But we're getting there.